Time to begin.
Exactly right. So I'm sorry about the technical issues there. I think Facebook was having a little bit of a job streaming this morning. I guess everybody in the world's doing the same thing. But anyway, over to you, Jackie.
All right. Good morning, everyone. This is Jackie Woods, and I'm the Executive Manager of Sales for Douglas Elliman Real Estate. And this morning I have Lesley Everett, Walking Tall, personal branding, training, coaching, and consultancy. We're just here to talk today about the chain of events and what we can do as we work at home during this incredibly unusual time. So Lesley, tell me, what can agents do? They're scared, they're at home. This isn't usual. They have cats, dogs, children that they're not used to working with. So, what kind of things can you tell them that will help them stay focused and help their business during this time?
Yeah, I think, Jack, it's fair to say that since we set this session up, which was really designed as a follow-up from the Meet in the Middle conference that I spoke at a few weeks ago for real estate agents that you kindly brought me in to speak at, things have changed quite a lot, and the perspective of this has changed quite a lot. So the idea originally was to do some follow-up tips. So I think right now what's important for us all to think about is what's changed and what do our clients need from us most right now. And whilst personal branding is really important, and we all have the gift, I guess, of time right now to really think about things, be a little bit more creative, and spend time on the things that really matter for our clients and what's going to help us perhaps when we come out of the other end. So personal branding, I think, really has is really very important right now. And I think the things that we can look at is, well, what is it that we do so well as a real estate professional that we could really call on right now and think about what our clients need? And you've heard me say before that it's how we make people feel in this business. And the great Maya Angelou quote of, I've come to learn that people will forget what I did, forget what I said, but they'll never forget how I made them feel. So right now, if we can think about our personal brand and the things that we can do to make people feel good and our clients feel better, we're on tap. Just being a public, visible resource to people, they're going to remember that when we come through this at the other end. So I think the shift has changed a little bit, and what can we do for them right now? But actually, it's going to set us in great stead for when we come through it. So the things I would be saying to real estate agents now to be thinking about is what is it that you can reach out to your clients to do for them? What is it you're really good at? Is it that you're well aware of things that are going on in the community? Is there a report that you can do that might be useful to them right now with some trends and some thoughts that are going on? Just picking up the phone, doing a video email perhaps as well is very useful, so they can see your face, and just asking them, what is it that is really troubling them right now? What is it that they could do with some help with, whether it's related to real estate or not? But just being visible right now is the best thing we can do with our brand. But there are some things just to add to that I wanted to just put in about how you can think about your brand right now as well. And this is relevant whether it's in this current situation or generally. And I think taking time out is always a very useful thing, and that's what we have right now. So what do you think about? What is it that you strive for most? What are your ultimate objectives with your business? What is it that you're an expert in? What are the true strengths that you have? What do your clients tell you you're good at? And I would urge you now, with time on your hands, perhaps to look back through testimonials, for example. What is it that people say about you, and what do they get when they work with you that you could really capitalize on now? So thinking about what it is you're really good at. What are you a real expert in that differentiates you from other people? Are there things that you could write about right now that really do motivate you, that you feel that you have a strength and an extra insight into, that you could put on blogs, you could do a video chat on, anything that's useful to share information right now, which is very much aligned to your expertise? So I think in taking the time out to really think about what is at the core of your authenticity and is you as a person, but your expertise is really essential right now.
It seems like right now, personal branding would be very relevant and easy because of the extenuating circumstances. I know I've seen on Facebook, some of the agents have reached out and offered to pick up prescriptions, groceries, things for older people. But wouldn't you agree that now is the time to go through that database and reach out to everyone, even if it's you just asking, how are you doing during this time? What are your needs? How can I help? I think, like you say, people are going to remember that. They're going to remember that you reached out when they were scared or hurting. And so I think it's very relevant now more than ever. And
Absolutely.
then how do you tie that personal brand to your corporate brand? Because a lot of us in real estate, our corporate brand is a big part of what we do. And yet we still want to stand out as individuals. So what would you suggest tying that together?
I think what I do, and when I'm coaching clients who work under a big corporate umbrella, and when I'm coaching, when I'm training, is to look at what the brand values of Douglas Elliman are right now, or the company that you work for, and to really analyze what those mean to you. I mean, really, let's get real here. And I don't know who's listening into this. It may be people who are not in the real estate profession as well. I don't know. This is open globally. So, but it's really looking at what the value set of your organization is right now, and what do you do every day that supports that in your own individual way. We've all got to look at being as valuable as possible right now to our clients, to our business, and being able to reinforce some of the core messages of the organization are really important. So if you took a word like integrity, which might be at the core of a lot of business values, company values, is really maybe, for example, taking that as a word and saying, what does that mean to me? How do I demonstrate integrity in my personal brand every single day? And this is a great exercise to do anyway for reinforcement of the company brand, the team brand, but also for you to delve a bit deeper right now into what's meaningful for you, what's important to you as a value that you can really get out there more and project more, because it's authentic and it's easy for you to do because it's part of you. So I would say take the time to look at your company values right now and think about what you're doing every day that reinforce those. Help your company out, help your team out, help your industry out right now.
Yeah, I agree. I think Douglas Elliman's values are really truly customer service. The agents are our clients and their clients are our clients. So for us, it's really stressing that customer service. And again, you can attach that to your personal brand by reaching out to your contact base and being sure that they feel like you're not just worried about yourself, you know, that you're there, that you really care about them, not just when it's a real estate transaction.
Yes, exactly. And I think that's the shift, is forget about the end result right now. Give them what they need. And where customer service is right at the heart of your company values is really thinking, what does customer service mean right now? And you know, it's a massive opportunity for all of us who work for ourselves, particularly, to be visible, to be this visible public resource to help people out right now. You know, what can you do? Can you call them? Could you, as I said earlier, do a video email, do a little bit of a video pop-in like this, but thinking about what they need right now, and also making it personal, so that it's not overwhelmed. Maybe start looking at your top 10 list of former clients or anybody who's in your database right now and saying, what could I do individually for that person? What do I know about them? What do I know about their character, their personality, their lifestyle, the challenges they were going through last time? Or have they just moved into a new home? Is there something I can just call and say, hey, how are things? And with no other agenda than just being there for them and making it really personal. So I think, you know, customer service is at the height of what we do as you do as a business at Douglas Elliman, certainly is putting that in a different perspective right now. What does it mean? And it's not just about the transactions of real estate right now. It goes much further than that. People will remember that, as you said, but it is an opportunity. And I think we need to look on the positive side of this whole situation as well and say, you know, this is a great time for me to really think about doing things differently and looking at what is going to be the outcome at the other end of this. You know, we're going to come out in a very different world, I would imagine, at some point. What can I be doing that's planning for that piece?
Can you share with us, because you're from Britain, you know, what some of the people that you've coached, what they're going through, what they're thinking, how it's affecting their business? As you say, we're going to come out totally different than when we went into this, and it's all brand new for all of us. So how are they reacting? Are they calm? Are they nervous? What are you seeing?
Well, yeah, a lot of my work is in Europe and in the UK, obviously virtually, and usually the British are really branded with the cool, calm, and collected attitude, and I think that's true to a degree. But there is a lot of panic. I mean, a lot of my work is around small business owners, speakers, and trainers, and people who generally are running all sorts of small businesses, and there is panic. Yeah, absolutely right. They're probably in a similar position to what we are in here, with schools closing down and businesses just losing business overnight, certainly in the services industry. So I'm just doing what I can right now to be of value to them as well. And just thinking about one of the things that I'm just about to put in place is having a regular 1 hour pop-in Zoom call every day at the same time, just for people to just log into, mainly small business owners, because I'm feeling like people are they're scared, and if they're not lucky enough to have the resources that I seem to have around, with the network that I have in the small business world and with in the speaker and trainer world and coach world, then maybe I can just give them a little bit of help and direction, or maybe a little positive thought. And I do think there are a lot of opportunities. So they're going through exactly the same as we're going through. And that's one of the things I find quite bizarre about this whole thing, is that everybody you speak to is in exactly the same position. I had 2 calls yesterday, one with Ecuador and one in Botswana in Africa. It's exactly the same situation. It's just completely bizarre. So everybody's going through the same thing, and lockdowns are gradually coming into place.
So for you too, it's customer service. You're reaching out, you're offering your services to kind of calm people and help them talk through it. And sometimes you just need that one-on-one with someone who is calm and collected. I know you do laser coaching. I was one of the people that you coached last year, and I found it was very, very helpful. Could you tell the listeners a little bit about how it works and how they might sign up?
Yeah, sure. There's a lot of different coaching packages I do, and really what they're very much focused on is how you differentiate yourself. And I feel like that's not something I've mentioned here before, but I think the core thing for your brand right now is how can you be different? How can you really differentiate and stand out in the crowd? And the laser coaching that I do is very much focused on that. It's a slightly different way of coaching, and thanks for bringing that up. It's really about it's a one-off fee, and at the moment it's just $995, and we just do a one-off fee for a whole year, and that's unlimited 20-minute sessions with me, so you can just book a slot and jump in on a call for 20 minutes, and we look at what is relevant to you. So that's what the laser coaching is, and I know you found it valuable, and it might be something that people can do right now, to just jump in on 20-minute calls whenever they want to. Typically people will use it 2 or 3 times a month, might be more right now, but there are other coaching methods as well. And what I would just I'll just share on the screen right now at this moment in time. Actually, I'll just put up the Calendly. Can you see the link there?
Yes.
To my calendar. And what I offer to anybody on this call, and really to anybody, is just a complimentary, absolutely no obligation call with me, just to ask me anything you want to, and I can listen and provide any help that I can. And if you use that link, you'll go straight through to my calendar to book a 20-minute slot just to talk to me, and I can try and answer any questions I can, give you some thoughts, maybe some tips, just listen, whatever is useful for you. So that's easy to do for anybody, and I'm just here as a resource as well. And I think just I don't know whether you had any more questions there, Jackie, but it's just, I had a list of some things that you could do right now. And this is something we can talk about on that 20-minute call as well, is thinking about what you can do differently right now as well. There's a whole myriad of things that we can do to be visible and stand out. And it's about putting yourself out there and being this public visible resource, as I said, right now, which I think real estate agents are, certainly because of how well you know the community, you know what's going on, you have insight into the economics of the world right now as well. And, you know, thinking about, are there podcasts you can do? Are there journalists you can speak to? Journalists right now are looking for all sorts of information, content, tips and things. There might be something that you can put together that's of use for an online magazine, or talking to the local journalist, be a valuable resource. There might be membership sites.
Leslie, can I jump in real quick on
Yes.
the journalist portion? I did see yesterday on Facebook, and I believe it came in my email, but Monterey Coast Weekly, it put out an email. They're requesting people that if you have any stories to please contact them, because now they're isolated as well, so they're not hearing what they would normally hear. So that's an excellent opportunity for real estate agents to talk about they just closed a property or just put a property into escrow during this time period, and how their clients are handling it, and how title companies are still operating even though limited circumstance. So it's fascinating, and it's helpful, and a good way to get your name out there and be in front.
Absolutely, yeah, there's things like that. And I think it's a time where we can start to get a bit creative and think outside the box. I hate that term, but there's no sort of other way of describing it. Think about what we can do differently. You know, what, it's not just our clients. Maybe there are people like the lenders out there as well that we can just build a relationship with. I do see this as a time of opportunity for building relationships, because everybody is in the same position. We're all there for everybody. And I'm hoping that we come out of this as a much tighter community and world generally. But absolutely think about what other relationships we can build as well. But that's a great example of what you can do right now. So to think more broadly, you know, what else can you do? Put yourself out there. Just be visible. I think that's the key word right now. Just be visible and be a visible public resource to your community right now.
Some of the things that you talked about at our MCAR event was, you know, people really need to dig deep and see what motivates them. And that's something that I think with laser coaching or other coaching, if agents are new to the business and they just got in the business and now, wow, right between the eyes, we have this pandemic. So having the opportunity to speak with you and you draw out of them what motivates them. Some people know, some people think they know, but they can't verbalize it. So I think it's a great opportunity, as you say, for people to reach out. Just a 20-minute session will really allow you to not overthink it, to just ask some questions that you might ask them, questions that they're like, wow, I never thought of that. So I think that's and what their core values are. You mentioned that at the top of the speech here. Sorry, not a speech, but the cat is scratching the couch. So sorry, I was distracted.
We're all battling with that. Dogs cry. I did a session yesterday with
at home.
I was working for a big corporate client yesterday based in London, and a big FTSE 100 company doing a virtual 3-hour session for a lot of their partners, and it's a wealth management company. And we had all sorts. We had dogs barking, so they're all working from home. So dogs barking in the background. One had a 3-year-old climbing all over her, and we just got on with it and just did what we could. And this is like a full-on blown professional training session, you know.
Well, and we will have stories to tell after this is all over and we come out on the other side. But it's, yeah, they decide now's the time to play. So sorry.
No, just bouncing off what you said there.
There you go.
the like you say, it's very difficult sometimes to get clarity, and I would imagine, you know, a lot of people are panicking right now. Some people deal with it much more calmly, but it's never easy to, as I often say, to see the label from inside the bottle. So a lot of you might be thinking right now, how do I actually tap into what my brand is, and who I am and what I'm really good at? And that's, as a coach, what I do for people is pull that out and enable you to see what that label is, for how you would describe yourself and market yourself from the outside in, and we make sense of it. So yeah, that's one of the
One of
biggest.
the other things, one of the other things that you've talked a lot about, especially when I was coaching with you, is a lot of people use Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, all these other apps, but you really think that LinkedIn is valuable. Can you explain why? Because I know some people have it, but don't go there, don't really
Yeah.
use it. Why is it so important?
I think you need to view it as a different type of platform. And I very much describe LinkedIn as your digital reputation. I think with Instagram and Facebook, they're great, and you should continue using those, and they're more dynamic to get things out. The LinkedIn is a platform that, first of all, gives people an insight into your professional profile, who you are, what you do, and also is a platform for sharing perhaps more things around your professional life, a short post, a sharing of a post, a short blog, a video, sharing of professional resources, which in itself supports who you are as an expert in your field. And that's how you should view it. If you view LinkedIn very much as your digital reputation, then it helps you to position how you might use that. So it is important for everybody to, again, with time on our hands right now, perhaps, is to review their LinkedIn profile and make sure it's as up to date as possible. And again, it's something I can help with, to give a few tips on personally. I can give you a few general things now if you want me to provide that.
Yeah, that would be great. Just a sec, I see. Oh, I thought we had a question. We don't. Go
Okay.
ahead.
Yeah, so just make sure the visual image is up to date, first of all, the photo, and the back, the blue banner. Just make sure you have something interesting there. If it's a plain blue banner, just don't leave it plain blue. Some people don't know you can update that with an image that is really relevant to your industry, and a close-up professional photograph as well. That about section is your most important thing right now as well. It's not a mandatory field, so you don't have to fill that in, but it's a missed opportunity, and it's a passage about you that is something that I call the brand statement, which again is not easy to just do on your own, but you can look at others, look at mine, and just see how it's constructed. Should always be written in the first person, because this is your page, your profile, and it's your opportunity to really describe your expertise and who you are. It's a window into you and your brand. The headline as well, just under your photo, is just use that wisely with bullet points of what your expertise is. A great way to just visually demonstrate your differentiators as well. So those would be a couple of tips. Get recommendations on there, ask people for recommendations. Certainly in the speaker world right now, what we're doing, it's a global community, but we're supporting each other right now by being able to recommend different people for their expertise, being aware of sharing people's posts, and just being generally supportive to our peers in the industry as well. And LinkedIn allows you to do some of that. So I would say just spend some time now, if you've got it, and when you're working at home, just looking at your profile and seeing if you can update that.
Okay. How do you feel about agents using video to personalize their interactions with their potential clients, especially in this time we're in now? I know you do a lot of video, your clients do. What are you seeing?
Yeah, I mean, video has become a really useful medium anyway, generally in the last few years. And for personal branding, I'm a big fan of using video where you can. And it doesn't have to be professional perfect, you know, you don't have to have all the right setup. I do in here, I have lighting and stuff and microphone, because I do a lot of virtual delivery of training. But you don't have to have that. I use a system called BombBomb, BOMB, bombomb.com, and it's a video email system which just allows you to very quickly record a 30-40 second video in the body of an email instead of writing it in words. So you can just say, hi, just wanted to check in how you're doing. I know that when we last spoke you were just going through this. I just wanted to see how that's mapping out in the current climate. If there's anything I can do, let me know. I'd love to jump on a call and let's just keep in touch and have a quick chat about what's going on right now. And that can be done in 30 seconds and off it goes, and they see your face, and it's a much better connection than just a written email. So I would urge you to really consider how you can use video right now.
And how would they go about getting this program? I know Tom Ferry had them at their events, but do you have an email link or somewhere they can go to sign up?
Yeah, it's just, it's called bombomb.com. That's the best way of doing it, BOMB.com. So I would just go in there and have a look, and they have pretty good packages. It's I don't know if there's a free one or not. I don't think so, but it's not too expensive to do, and I think for the value that you get and the opportunity right now it's well worth looking at. Yeah.
Okay. What else do you have that might be beneficial to our listeners as we wrap up?
Yeah, I think really to reiterate is thinking about the shift in what your clients need right now. It might be different to what they needed 2 weeks ago. So having that at the forefront, how do you make them feel better? What can you do right now? Being this visible public resource, as I said, being as visible as you can, as helpful as you can, being of service in a way that you might not have thought about 2 weeks ago. So it's being open to shifting. All of this helps to support your personal brand, obviously, and puts you in a good position for when we come out of this. People remember the people that helped them for no real gain right now as well. Also, just a word of warning. I think it's important, and we all have this drive in us sometimes to give opinions on what's happening. And I would just say, be very cautious about. Don't prescribe and diagnose what's going on. You know, don't be drawn onto the discussions of what you think is going to happen in the world. I think just stick to what it is you're good at, your expertise. If there are trends and data that you can share that's happened in the last recession and after 9/11, if there are things that you can share with your clients by way of a very short report to say this is what happened then, these are the opportunities, and we might want to think about how we do this, then by all means be aware of just prescribing, diagnosing, that kind of thing. So again, be visible. I think that's the key message for today. Be visible.
Okay. I have seen some of the agents that have been forwarding Facebook posts about what restaurants are still open, where you can get supplies. Those are the helpful things to chime in on during this extreme time. And I think that's valuable advice that you gave. It's easy to get sucked in, but people will remember what you said. And if they don't agree with you, that could be a bad thing too. So, Lesley, I think you're amazing. You're very generous with your time. Your sweet husband who helped get us set up, appreciate him too. Thank you for doing this. And I hope that people will reach out to you, and maybe you could put your calendar up again quickly so that if they didn't get it the first time, they can, there it is. Okay, so www. How do you say that?
Calendly, yeah.
Yeah, .com/Lesley-10.
Yeah.
So take advantage. She's a great coach. I think you'll be happy that you did. And Lesley, you gave some fabulous advice, and I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, it's a pleasure. Thank you, Jackie, and I'm wishing everybody the best of luck, and just think about the opportunities that we have out there. Thank you again, and I'll speak to you soon.
Oh, okay. For video emails. Bombomb.com for video emails.
That's
all
it.
Right.
Right.
Thank
I think
you.
everybody would have seen that. Thanks, Jackie. Bye.
Bye-bye.